questions as I can. Okay, this is a good one. Next question. Were there ever any women in the mob? Okay, for those of you that's seen Godfather 3, please disregard that. Francis Ford Coppola did not want to do that movie. They didn't really have a good script, but the sister played a major role in the mob life at that. It was totally fictional. Women, at least up until this point today, I don't believe it's changed, do not play any role in the mob. They cannot be made. Do women sometimes get involved? If they are, shame on the guys that get them involved. They shouldn't be. We didn't talk in front of our women. I never discussed things in front of my wife, my sister, my mother. We never did. And I believe just about everybody I knew followed that practice. We did not involve women in that life at all. It's not a life for women. And I'm not being, against women in that regard.
Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Avashai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Avashai, Brakathia Howell, Brakathia Howell, Ba'ashim Avashai, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone with you well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to the Dakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shimon. This week's topic is going to be entitled Something the Mafia Picked Up from the Bible, right? As you can see, the snippet was from Michael Francis, the son of Sonny Francis, legendary mafia guy. Sonny Francis is known for having integrity. He was locked up on false charges, didn't rat on nobody for 50 years. He did he said, look, I'm going to do the whole 50, you watch. He did 50 years, didn't say anything, and the man lived to be 103 years old. Never, ever broke the code of silence, right? And one thing Sonny Francis said, and I mentioned this with the show with Tekashi 69, he said, look, his quote says, Yahweh Shai suffered and he ain't telling nobody, right? So there's certain characteristics and morals that the old guys have, all right, and they kept until Giuliani started using that RICO. When that RICO came in, then guys started singing, they broke their character. But some of these guys out there have that old school mentality, right? Now this guy, Michael Francis, he's from the old school, right? So things have changed now, right? But in his time, at least, I don't know what they're doing now. They didn't say shit to their women. Now, he said this life is not for women. And this is something we often tell and speak about to the men out there. This thing is not for your woman. Don't force it on her. And we're going to go into some scriptures. This is the book of Micah 7:5. It says, trust ye not in a friend. Right now, Proverbs 3:5 tells us who we should trust, the Most High. All right. The scriptures do say, be followers of me, as I am of Yahweh Shai. If a man is teaching the Bible correctly and linking the precepts and living his life according to those precepts, you mark that man and you follow his examples, right? Prime examples are apostles and our elders, right? Boom. Now it says, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Now who's the her that lieth in your bosom? That's your woman, man. All right. That's your woman. They took it a step further. They said they ain't tell their moms, they ain't tell their sister, because this thing is not for women. And you have guys out there, hey, let's name names, all right? Nathaniel of the IUIC, he once said, all right, this is going back way before our time, all right? The apostles and elders speak on this more than any of us because we weren't there. But one thing that Nathaniel was teaching at one point was, if your woman don't know the truth, you can't be in the truth or something like that, and that was something that a lot of dudes in certain schools practice. When look, man, a woman's righteousness doesn't come from going and breaking down scriptures and going out there and teaching. All right, her righteousness comes from serving her husband, and the proof on that is what the scripture says. You're gonna have harlots be saved and publicans be saved before some of these Pharisees out there, man. All right, so that harlot, however it may be, how she got no choice, she got to get her money, whatever. Hey, but she's taking her care of her kids. She might be sending money back to the dad. We don't know the story, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. So that right there shows, which being a harlot is against the scriptures, right? But the Most High has mercy on who he has mercy on. But it shows you that the scriptures is not talking about them, for them to be saved, they got to be part of the 144,000. And no, the 144,000 is all men. This thing is for men, all right? The Bible is to make you into a man, okay? There's a big misnomer when it says children. The word there in the Hebrew is bunyam, all right, which means sons, all right. So speak unto the sons of Israel. So this Bible is for the women. That's Satan. This Bible is for the men, and it's up to them if they want to teach a woman, all right. It says, read it again. Trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth shut. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Right. So this is a trait that the mafia did pick up from the scriptures, whether they know it or not. You know, there's certain you can subscribe to this guy, Michael Francis, because look, even if they not, you have people that so-called don't teach the Bible, but they've been on the earth a long time. They could impart certain wisdom that's in the Bible. So there's certain little things I watch from picking up this guy that I say, that's in the scriptures. He don't know that. He might not know that. He calls himself a born-again Christian. But there's certain codes that they keep, all right, that deals with honor and integrity that's in there, all right? Now, I'm not condoning the illegal activity that they did, whatever, all right? But I'm just saying, for the principle's sake. All right, now, Job 39:17, because the Most High has, now, this is concerning the woman. You got some guys that will say, nah, read up, it's about an ostrich. Well, those guys are bird brains, pun intended, right? It says, because the Most High has deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. Now, women don't fear the Most High when it really comes down to it, all right? No matter how they may act or how they may, that beautiful lesson, brother, and all that. And they could be sincere, but still, the true wisdom and understanding of this Bible is not for them, man. Here it is, the Most High done told you. So for you to go and try to break down Revelations, I'm over exaggerating. I don't know. I don't know if somebody might do that. I've seen videos with a woman out there teaching on the streets and a man reading for her, so I don't know if she's getting into Revelations and getting into all it, but either way, that's totally out of order. All right, a woman should not be teaching a man, and that's in the scriptures, and we're going to get to it. It says, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. All right, so the Most High did not give this wisdom. It's not for them. All right, it's not for them in the sense of how we do it. Putting together lessons, putting together shows, and now just like in the mafia, you're gonna have situations where your lady might know you in this thing, and there's a reason behind that, right? Let's go to the next scripture. This is 1 Corinthians 14:34. It says, let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak. And this is the New Testament, all right? So one might say, that's the old stuff. No, this is the New Testament. This is the Apostle Paul speaking. He takes up a major chunk of the New Testament, and he was taught by Yahushua himself. So wouldn't Yahushua say, nah, look, Paul, don't teach that part? Nah, all right? It says, it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. So, Malachi 3:6, the Most High doesn't change. All right, here we go now. It says, and if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. So if they will learn anything, so that ain't, so let's give an example of that, right? You might be with a woman, all right, after a while, you 3-4 years, at a certain point, you can't lie to her no more, because what? Because she's going to get her monthly, she's going to want to cook pork, she's going to want to cook shrimp. So these things you're going to teach her. Look, baby, I can't eat that, look, it's a Sabbath, and, after, you might bullshit for a while, but, once you get the pussy and you've been with her a while, you could just start opening up in terms of what laws and certain things you got to keep, what certain things might be a hindrance. You're not going to be sitting down to her every week and teaching her the scriptures. And look, I done been with women, and I've been simple. I want to know more about it, and you tell them something, and you get carried away, you run your mouth, and you make stupid mistakes, you make dumb mistakes. But it's a lesson learned, because really, it's really no point in doing that, really no point in doing that. If you got a woman and she's with you for a certain period of time and she's going to be cooking for you, or y'all going to be living together, I really don't recommend living with the woman, but certain brothers' situations is different, really the best thing you want to do is be alone, man, straight up. But if that's it, if the situation called for that, you might have kids with this woman. You don't want your son eating pork and shrimp and lobster, all right? You don't want your child seeing certain things, so you say, look, man, nah, look, but baby, but why? Look, this is what I believe, all right? This is what the scriptures say, and then you might end it at that, It says, and if they will learn anything, and that's a big if, you know, that if normally comes again in that mandatory situation. You got a woman, she's raising your kids, you with her, you can't, there's certain dietary laws, there's certain things you want to keep according to the Bible, and you just might say it, you know. What you gonna say? You allergic to shrimp, pork, crab, lobster, rabbit, and all this stuff? You just at the end of the point, look, baby, this is what I believe in, and that's, I can't do that, Leave it at that. It says, and if they will learn anything, let them ask their husband at home. And a lot of times, look, man, women don't want to know. She might just be saying that to try to sound different, or she might just be saying that so you won't leave her ass a lot of times, and try to make it look like, it's a lot of show with these women, but and don't get caught up in it, don't get caught up. Look, I'm wearing a hair covering now for you, baby, and look, you don't need to do all that, bro. It's not necessary, really not. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husband at home, for it is a shame for a woman to speak in the church. So, man, I should have read up in Job where it says a foolish woman is loud and clamorous and all that. Clamorous, which means they like to yap. So when we out there teaching and a woman comes up and she starts speaking and starts teaching this and she's teaching you, that's a shameful thing. And that's often what happens. All right, when you teach them, they're gonna end up turning around and throw scriptures at you, man. When that's completely out of order. It's a shameful thing for them to even think of doing something like that, but they'll do it. And that's from experience. It says, for it is as a shame for a woman to speak in the church. Right, so just like how Michael up top, he said, look, this life is not for women. It's the same thing. This life of ours that we have is not for women, Woman didn't get made. Well, to be made, you had to be Italian on your father's side, and that's another thing. Just like the elect, for you to be made in terms of being a part of the elect, you have to be an Israelite on your father's side. Your mother didn't matter. If you watch this full video, he goes on to speak about that part too. What else I got? Well, I guess that's it, man. Quick lesson, something the Mafia picked up from the Bible. I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakodash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which you well, and salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Sadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.